And all that shit is nothing. It's nothing. We gave it all up. And Americans also had great gifts. When you take the theory of democratic rule, self-government, okay, they started off wrong. They owned slaves. They didn't let women vote. They didn't let people land vote. Fine. They got off on the wrong foot. But the ideas were good. But we fucking blew that. We polluted it. We polluted it with this stuff, things, material goods, games, gizmos, toys, gadgets, having possessions. He's got a bigger truck. Does you see his truck? It's bigger than mine. I'm getting a new truck. Here's a big truck. Oh, I'm getting that one. That's what you got a video in it, DVD too. He don't have a DVD. I got a DVD. Whatever happened, and all of that, and that's why I'm divorced from it now. I see it from a distance. I give myself a divorce. I said, George, emotionally you have no stake in this. You don't care. So watch it. Have fun. You know what? I say it this way. When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show. And when you're born in America, you're given a front row seat. And some of us get to sit there with notebooks. And I'm a notebook. Oh my God, did you see that? And I watched the freak show, and I kept the notes in the day. I was thinking about it. I talked about my friends. So, we're all the same. When I'm better, I'm different. I'm just a mark now. I'm separate one here because I put myself out of the mix. I don't have the statement in. Not a two. Oh, they say if you scratch a city, you'll find this weird ideas. And I would live somewhere in the middle of this flame of ideas. I would love to see it all change, but it can't happen that way. And incremental change, it just seems like the pile of shit is too deep.
Scientists to stay skeptical about that. So I wouldn't say that just because I got information and I ran into some aliens or non-terrestrials from other parts of our physical universe, that makes that a fact. Doesn't. It's a piece of information.
Yeah, but you're not the only person who's gotten extraterrestrial
information. I'm not the only person who could have gotten misinformation either. And the other point is that I don't worry about it much or think about it much because it doesn't make any difference. It's totally irrelevant. It falls into that category called inquiring egos want to know. It's maybe fun or interesting, but it's of no practical value. What would make you grow up better or become loved more readily, whether there were extraterrestrials or not, you see?
Interaction with another species would increase our choice points.
Exactly. That's the one thing that you can look at that says it might be valuable because, all right, the bacteria got to the jellyfish, got to the fish, got to the reptiles, right? Got to us eventually, and we get together as all one happy family. What's the next step? Could be that us and all the other planets in our galaxy need to get together and be one happy family, because that would be even a higher level of order. And it could be that then all the galaxies have to get together and become one happy family of cooperative caring, and that would even be a higher level of order, right? Less and less entropy as we go up, more and more order. And then it could be that all the super galaxies, have to come together from all the galaxies to do this. So we can run this up like that and say that we're just in the first beginning stages of it, and we've got all these other coming togethers that we have to do yet. We have to learn to cooperate among ourselves. Then we have to learn to be cooperative with other, planets or entities, other galaxies, other super galaxies, and the thing might just go on and on. But the larger conscious system would have to have an awful lot of seats available for that. And it is a real system. It does have limitations. It's not infinite. So maybe, maybe not. But I like that too. That's kind of a nice way of, of putting it all together. But that's a possibility as well. So we have these possibilities. I can see there's a good argument that we're one among many, and also a pretty good argument that we might not be. Could go either way. And
What is your answer?
Well, you know, no, I don't. You know, I'm not that interested in it because it's an interesting conjecture, but it's not anything that makes any difference to my growth. It's irrelevant. And if you spend a lot of time chasing down irrelevant things, it lowers your overall credibility because it shows you that you're not focused on what's important. So, and I don't mean credibility among people here, I mean credibility in the larger consciousness system. Credibility in the places where you have to work. So I don't bother with it. And it's not really important. Doesn't matter. Could be any of those ways. And when we get there, we'll know. And before we get there, doesn't matter. So I don't find it really a very interesting thing to do. But I can see all the possibilities. And I agree with you that, you know, let that keep going. Who knows? But the system's limited. It doesn't have infinite number of bits. And it's got to use them in the most effective way possible. And at first I thought, well, it wouldn't want to do a whole universe just for this one little tiny thing. You know, this tiny speck in this universe and create this whole universe just for that speck doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, I realized that that speck is the only thing that has to have any definition. Everything else is just a potential light in the sky. Not even light in the sky. We probably can't see but 1,000th of a percent of the suns that are out there when we look up at the sky. Even with telescopes, we can't see that much. We're just such a tiny speck, so it's just a dot of light in the sky, or not. Only when you look at it does it have to be rendered, so it's almost no effort at all to produce a huge universe and not use much of it. It's just a tool. And if that's the kind of tool has to do that in order to evolve, because there's no way to write a rule set that just evolves one little planet and one sun, that just doesn't come out of any kind of rule set. You have to kind of let this whole thing go, and if you want a stable rule set, you need this kind of whole picture, but you're only going to use this part. Not such a big deal, because that picture really isn't all that big. It's just this part and a couple of little lights in the sky, which only take a bit apiece. It's really not a whole big universe, maybe. It's maybe just us and, you know, wallpaper, window dressing, something for the telescopes to see.
But as you said, it took the larger consciousness system a while to figure out how to create a rule set that would
I'm sure it did.
what we've got here.
Yeah, it would be.
It did that work, so why not just take the little cell that they may have planted here and maybe modify it a little bit, genetic engineering, and drop it off someplace else.
The only reason not to is that you don't need it. It's not, it's not essential. You just don't need it. It'd be excess. It'd be, huh? Right, gives you 2 petri dishes and you only need 1. So that would be the only reason, that there's not that many individuated units of consciousness that you need that many planets with people in the evolution. If you don't, then there's no point. You just make what you need, and the rest of it is window dressing. So it's possible.